Hello everybody, welcome to Nifty Profits YouTube channel. We have started this new educational series on value investing. Value investing with CA Vishwanath Pichmani, the guy who has money in his name. We have had one episode last week where he gave an introduction to us on why investment and why investment in stock markets. Today, we are embarking on the second episode where he has got an interesting topic lined up. Let's listen what he has to say. Over to you, Vishwanath Pichmani.
Thank you, Sam, and good evening to all the viewers of the Nifty Profit channel. Welcome to the second episode in the value investing series. The subject of this episode is the difference between investment and speculation. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Before we get into this episode, let me recap on what we discussed in episode 1. As Sam had rightly said, in the first episode, we were laying the building blocks on our value investment journey. The first block was we need to save. Only then can we invest. And investment unleashes the power of compounding. We showed some examples about various investment options available, and we suggested that based on the available data, investment in stocks is the best option to beat inflation. And to go about selecting the right stocks, there is no other process other than the process of value investment. Having set the stage, we today want to discuss what is the difference between investment and speculation. There's a lot of confusion. If you ask somebody, do you invest in the stock market? The immediate reaction is no, it's very risky, it's very speculative. So to the common man, an investment in the stock market is akin to speculation. But friends, there's a fine difference between what is inflation and what is speculation. And I am going to make my job very easy. I have lined up the sayings of very famous thinkers and intellectuals on the subject of value investing, and I'm going to quote them and buttress my stand that investment and speculation are totally two different things. So let's go ahead. The first gentleman which I'm going to talk about is the legendary investor, Philip Carrett. Now, Philip Carrett was an investor and he was the founder of the first mutual fund in the United States way back in 1928. It was called the Fidelity Mutual Fund at that time. It is still in existence and goes by the name of Pioneer Mutual Fund. Philip Carrett had managed this fund for 55 years. Yes, you heard it right, 55 years. And what was his magnitude of his investment success? Well, if you had invested $10,000 in 1928 when the fund started, at the end of 55 years, this $10,000 would have grown to, mark my words, $8 million. I repeat, $8 million. This is how successful Philip Carrett was. And no wonder Warren Buffett calls him as one of his role models. And Philip Carrett, in his very wonderful book, The Art of Speculation, says that it's the motive which differentiates between what is investment and what is speculation. He simply says, when you're buying a stock and you want to make a profit in the fluctuation in the prices of the stock, that process is called speculation. Anything else is investment. So what is the motive behind investing in the shares or stocks? That determines whether the activity is investment or speculation. He has written a wonderful book called The Art of Speculation, and I would encourage the readers to get hold of a copy of this book and go through it. It's a very interesting read, I can promise you. Well, the second author whom I'm going to quote on the subject of investment and speculation is none other than the guru of value investing. Yes, his name is Benjamin Graham. He has written a book in the year 1934, which is called Security Analysis, which till today is held as the Bible of value investment or value investing. And no wonder Warren Buffett, who was also a student of Benjamin Graham, calls him as the second most influential person in his life, apart from his father. And Benjamin Graham has a very interesting take on investment. He says, an investment is an operation which is carried out after doing considerable analysis and promises safety of the principal and a satisfactory return. Any operation which does not follow this criteria is speculation. Let's move ahead. Another legendary investor we are going to talk about is John Bogle. John Bogle was the founder of the first index fund in the United States. He was the founder of the Vanguard Group, which started the first index fund in the United States. And John Bogle says that basically the tenure of ownership determines what is investment and what is speculation. If you are keeping the share for a short term, that is speculation. If you are keeping the share for a long term, it's called investment. So to give you, to paraphrase it, suppose if I'm buying a share and just have the intention to keep it for less than a year, that can be classified as a short-term investment, or it's called a speculation or a short-term trading. And any investment which is held for more than 1 year, that is called investment. So the tenure of ownership of the investment or the stock is very important to determine whether it is a speculation or whether it is an investment. Yes, please go
ahead. You see, Vishwanath, you are talking about anything held less than 1 year is speculation. I'm just thinking about the traders who are interested in holding the share for about a minute or 5 minutes. Even that kind of traders are there. No wonder you have to call them definitely as speculators. 1 year is a too long term for those people.
Yeah, that's a very pertinent observation, Sam, Satyamurthy. So let's recap what we have discussed so far. So there are 3 different versions to defining what is investment and what is speculation. Philip Garrett says it is the motive of the investor. Benjamin Graham says it is the process which is followed to buy the stock. And John Bogle talks about the time horizon of investment. Let's continue on our subject. We now talk about Seth Klarman, who has written a very famous book called Margin of Safety. Seth Klarman says, and this is what Warren Buffett also has emphasized, that if I make an investment in an asset with the intention that this investment is going to generate some cash flow, such a investment is called investment. Speculation does not throw off any cash flow to the investors. The returns from speculation will depend upon the vagaries of the share market. So that means if I invest in a share and I'm expecting the share to give me a return, be it by way of dividend, be it by way of bonus, or be it by way of stock splits, then such a investment is called investment in that sense. But if I'm buying a share and I'm expecting to make a return subject to the vagaries of the share market, that is called speculation. A very highly respected authority in the field of value investing, Seth Klarman. Well, now we come to none other than the Warren Buffett. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, Warren Buffett is the founder of Berkshire Hathaway, And the net worth of Warren Buffett as of March 2021 is about $100 billion. And he has this to say in a 2011 interview about what is investment and what is speculation. And if you read this slide, he has echoed what Seth Klarman has talked about in his book, Margin of Safety. He also says an investment operation is one where the decision to lay some money is to get back some money at a later date through the operation of the asset. And Warren Buffett goes on to say that if he has made an investment, he doesn't care whether the share is quoting even for 2 years. So such is his confidence about investment, making investment. Warren Buffett goes on to define what is speculation. And he says that speculation is basically depending again on whether the price of the share goes up due to some factors like quarterly earnings, splits, dividend, and he's not basically looking at the asset. Such an activity is called speculation. And Warren Buffett re-emphasizes that when he makes an investment, he's not bothered whether the share market is open or closed. In fact, he's ready to wait even if the market is closed for 2 years. Such is his confidence when making an investment. Yes, Sam.
This presents me an interesting psychology of traders I get to interact with. Most of them, when the market is closed, even on these weekends, they are very frustrated. And there are sometimes long weekends that come, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is closed, or Sunday, Monday and Tuesday are closed. They are really getting frustrated and they don't know what to do. These are habitual speculators and they cannot live without seeing the quotes on the screen. And imagine about Warren Buffett, as you rightly said, he doesn't care if the market is open or closed because he has made an investment for a long period of time. This kind of some analogy like investing in real estate, right? You don't have a quote coming on your screen for the real estate investment that you make. It's just there. And when you want to sell only, you try to find out what is the market value. Amazing wisdom from the greatest investor of our time, Warren Buffett.
In fact, in one of the later slides, I have made an observation that for the person who speculates on the share market, he is looking for some cheap thrills, He gets an adrenal rush. It's something like a casino mentality, So to answer your question, the people who are fed on this adrenaline rush, they can't sit still, the market is closed for 3 days or 4 days, So this is what speculation does to people, Value investing, as I explained in the first episode, is a very, very arduous journey. But believe me, the persons who stick to this journey really make good wealth at the end of it.
Basically, value investing is being lazy. Don't be too active in the stock market, be active somewhere else.
Exactly. Now, again, I'm giving a perspective of a famous economist, John Maynard Keynes, who says, again, what happens in the stock market and which goes by the name of speculation is basically determined by the psychology of the market. That means the people who are operating in the market, their psychology determines what is speculation. And he says that a person who is a speculator, he's always thinking about what others are thinking. He doesn't have his own view. And this is what happens, if you see the public issues or a bull market and all, the prices generally go up because somebody is buying because he's thinking others are buying. So John Maynard Keynes makes a very good point that ultimately it's the psychology of the person who determines what is speculation and what is investment. Another famous author who goes by the name of W.E. Woodward, again, he talks about the thrill, which you just mentioned, Sam, some time back. He says, generally the people who go into speculation, they have, they want thrills. They want to get something out of nothing, But ladies and gentlemen, do remember the stock market, whether it's Wall Street or whether it's Dalal Street, is a very, very poor place to look for thrills. And if you're looking for thrills, you need to pay a very heavy price, which is what happens if you see, when the market retreats and the bears come in and hammer the market. It's a poor retail investor or trader who gets hurt the most. And now the famous philosopher, Mark Twain. Mark Twain is basically the pen name of a very famous American philosopher, Samuel Longhorn Clemens. And he says, there are two times in a man's life when he should not speculate. When he can't afford it and when he can. A very, very important statement. He says that if you can afford to speculate, you should not. And definitely you should not speculate when you definitely can't afford it. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the previous slides, what I've tried to do is try to bring out the fine difference between what is investment and what is speculation through the sayings of very famous authorities on this subject. Now, having set the base for what is investment and what is speculation, I want to give you some very interesting statistics from the public domain. Nifty Profits channel is all about day trading and all about options and other strategies. But I just want to tell you some statistics. This was a study which was done in Taiwan not very long back, 1992 to 2006. And it says that 75% of day traders in Taiwan, they made no money at all. In fact, 75% of them quit day trading within 2 years. And only 1% among them really made some profits, which is a very, very poor percentage. So what this slide says is, in the long run, day trading will not make you much money. And the same study was also done in Brazil, which, ladies and gentlemen, is third in volume terms as far as the futures market is concerned. And again, the study was done very recently, 2013 to 2015. And again, the same conclusion, very little people make money by doing speculation in the stock market. Well, this is a study which was done in Taiwan. This is a study which was done in Brazil. So do you think it doesn't apply to India? Well, we don't have such statistics in India as of now, but there's a very important information for your reference. In COVID, as you know, all of us were sitting at home with nothing to do. So what happened? People wanted to trade. So the active demat accounts, as per the statistics from National Securities Depository Limited and Central Depositories Securities Limited, the two main depositories in India, shows that active demat accounts rose by a record 10.4 million in 2020. And who are the people who opened these demat accounts? Obviously, they were new customers who had never traded in stock before. So what does this show? It clearly shows that people have come into the stock market for some cheap thrills. Most of them had never dealt with share market before, but by observing what others are doing, by having the fear of missing out mindset, they have all opened demat accounts, and most of them will get into speculation. They are entering the stock market as if it's a casino. Without doing anything, they want to make money. And if this is the mindset, they will really burn their hands. Stock market, ironically, does not work like a casino. Yes, Sam.
I am thinking about the difference that you are showing between the investment and the speculation. I am just thinking that, as you rightly said, speculators want to earn money without doing much. If you flip the coin and see, I told value investors want to be lazy, right? And speculators also want to earn something without doing much. But the difference is, a value investor needs to do a lot of work before even making the investment and then sit quiet. But a speculator doesn't want to do any work even before making the entry into the market, and also after entering into the market, they just want money to pour into their hands, which is the irony.
Yes, that's what I meant. When they wanted to achieve something out of nothing, they are thinking that stock market is a casino. They can gamble and they can easily make money. And history has proved that stock market does not work like a casino. The longer you're invested, the higher probability of you making money. Now, what does it mean? It means that if you really want to make good money in the stock market, value investing is the only way forward. So you need to buy high quality stocks after making due research and study, and own them till they remain high quality. And this process, I want to re-emphasize, is called value investing. We will move forward on your value investing journey in the subsequent episodes. Thank you. Over to you, Sam.
Excellent, Toastmaster Vishwanath. If you can stop the share, if you don't mind sharing, let's have face-to-face with each other. Yeah. Yes. If you look at it, speculation is something like, I going back to my backyard and starting to dig immediately, thinking that I will strike gold. The whole time, only mud and the sand may be coming out, nothing else. And it may dig deep, probably maybe 100 feet or 200 feet, some water may come. But that also sheer luck, because if you have to dig for water, even then you have to dig in the right place where you can find water. So it's like blindly going and hitting everywhere, thinking that you are going to strike gold. But investing, on the other hand, as I learned from your presentation and from all the quotes of all the legendary investors, is that knowing clearly what you want to do, knowing clearly where you want to put your hard-earned money, and waiting for the right opportunity to enter into a stock with which you want to be wedded for a long, long time. Because you quoted Warren Buffett, I have read something about Warren Buffett, so I can definitely vouch that he invests and he stays invested. He invested in Gillette for many, many years back. He still invested in that stock, and that has given him grand returns. And he has invested in Coca-Cola, and still he is an investor in Coca-Cola, and he is holding that stake for many, many years. You said his net worth is now 100 billion. The growth in his net worth, which has come from his long-term investments, which he has not, many investments that he has bought and never sold, has ensured that, I remember seeing his net worth at $32 billion about 10 or 12 years back. Just that the 30 billion has become 100 billion now. Just being stuck to those investments that he made after properly picking those investments stands proof for investment being a better option than speculation. And all, you very clearly pointed out that, all entry into stock market is not speculation. Value investing is investment, and shooting in the dark, hoping for a bullet, getting the bullseye, is speculation. Am I right, Vishwanath?
Yes. And in fact, in the first episode, I mentioned that Warren Buffett, 85% of his wealth was created after he turned 55. So can you imagine, if he had started his investment journey at the age of 18, up to age 55, whatever net worth he is having today, only 15% of that net worth he had till the age of 55. This again shows the power of compounding. So if you invest in good shares after doing a proper research and stay invested for a long time till they remain high quality, as I mentioned in my slide just some time back, you are definitely bound to reap handsome returns.
Excellent.
Time and again, history has proved.
Yeah, excellent, Vishwanath. Very wise words coming out of your experience and following all these great investors. I look forward to your next episode very eagerly, because in 2 episodes, you really kindled my interest. Interestingly, if Warren Buffett started growing his wealth from the age of 55, I am 56. So
you are on the right trajectory of your life, you know.
With your help, with all our Nifty Profits subscribers, I want to learn from you and grow my wealth. Thank you very much, Vishwanath. Thank you, and I look forward to your next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Dear friends, thank you for staying with us and listening to this episode number 2. Please do like, share, and subscribe to Nifty Profits channel. Also, please share these videos to the youngsters in your house, because they are the ones who need financial education and an investment on savings and right investment. Thank you very much for your patronage. I look forward to seeing you again in the next episode. Bye-bye.